All right. The solution steps for number 19 change a little bit because in this case our equation is no longer in intercept form. Now it is in standard form. Standard form. And we've learned from past units that when you get a quadratic equation in standard form, you can use the quadratic formula to find the x-intercepts. Up here in the instructions, you're actually given the quadratic formula. Let's go ahead and solve it, solve or find the x-intercepts with the quadratic formula. I've taught you a different method than many teachers will. We've broken this up into steps. Step number 1 is to identify a, b, and c. Our a value is 1, which is right here. We don't see it, we can write it in. Our b value equals positive 3, and our c value equals positive 2. Next step is to find the determinant. I'll just abbreviate that as DET. Find our determinant. The determinant is found with the equation b squared minus 4ac. Let's go ahead and plug in our values. B is positive. Remember, whenever we plug in a variable, we always put it in parentheses. 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times c, which is 2. So a is 1, c is 2. That's going to be equal to 9 minus 8, which is equal to 1. So our determinant is equal to 1. Now all we have to do is plug that determinant into our quadratic formula, which looks a lot nicer now that we've already figured out the b squared minus 4ac. If you look up at the top, you can see that's this value right here. Now we know what's going to be in the radical. It's going to be the value of 1. Let's solve now for our x-intercepts. So our x-intercepts are going to be negative b, which is negative 3, plus or minus the square root of our determinant, which is 1. Now look again. I got negative b here. Negative b plus or minus the square root of our determinant all over 2a. So we've got negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 1, which is our determinant, over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. There are our x-intercepts. Let's go ahead and simplify that. Now we know that the square root of 1 is just 1. So our first answer for our x-intercepts is going to be negative 3 minus 1 over 2 times 1, which is 2, and negative 3 plus 1 over 2 times 1, which is 2. So we've got negative 3 minus 1 over 2, negative 3 plus 1 over 2. Let's finish simplifying that. You've got your x values are going to be either negative 4 over 2 or negative 2 over 2. All right, let's finish this up. Therefore, our x values are going to be either negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, and negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, and there are our x values, or our x-intercepts. Now again, you may find that the question is asking you to write the coordinates. Remember, the coordinates will always have a y value of 0. Let's go ahead and write this out as coordinates over here. I'm going to put arrows up here and show this final answer. This is going to be either negative 2 comma 0 or negative 1 comma 0. And there are our two x-intercepts.